In November 2025, a massive fire broke out in these apartment buildings behind me here in Hong Kong, which made international news around the world. These fires claimed the lives of, I think, 156 people, including one firefighter, and I'm assuming many are still in hospital. But these fires occurred in these buildings behind me. This area is not actually in downtown Hong Kong, either on Hong Kong Island or in Kowloon. This is in a suburb about 30 kilometres north of Hong Kong in a housing estate. And the fire was just absolutely devastating. It burned, I think, 7 out of the 8 buildings in this complex and just absolutely wreaked havoc. There are some police still around the perimeter of this site. Got some people out on a Sunday afternoon enjoying a nice game of soccer on looks like some sort of public soccer pitch. We've got a secondary school over here. It's really fascinating when you come outside of the city of Hong Kong. Just catch a bus for 20-25 minutes and go 30 kilometres outside the city. It's a completely different vibe. You really see how people live here. And again, there are those absolute devastation. So sad. So many poor people, elderly people caught up in this such a horrible incident. Just so sad for the people of this area. It's a small little community here. There's some nice parks. There are lots of elderly people, lots of kids. So there's another little basketball court they have here. Lots of concrete parks in China. Most places are a concrete jungle. Just absolute devastation caused by those horrible fires. So this is the community where these horrible fires occurred. It's just a very simple life for these people. We've got a primary school over here. Life is definitely a lot more chill out in these suburban areas of Hong Kong. You've got the main areas which are hustling and bustling, but life slows down a little bit out here. It's much more quieter. Today is actually a Sunday, so maybe people are resting at home. But those fires, just absolutely horrific. Standing here in this apartment complex, it's really quite amazing to see how people live here in Hong Kong. You've got this little common area down the bottom here in between all the apartment buildings. People can come here to congregate, to sit and meet up, talk to each other. There's lots of cafes, restaurants, 7-Elevens along the bottom here. But really, more than anything, when you come out to these suburbs, which are only 20 or 30 kilometres outside of the main Hong Kong area, you really get to see a different perspective of how people live. Hong Kong is often portrayed as this fancy, glamorous city by many Western media outlets, and when you type in Hong Kong, you see all the flashy buildings on Google and online. But if you just take a train or a bus or a cab 30 minutes outside of the city, you see a completely different perspective. You see how people live. Again, there are those buildings that were on fire in November earlier this year, just horrible, but really puts it into perspective that Hong Kong has a population of 7.5 million people, which is more than Norway, more than Ireland, and more than New Zealand. Hong Kong, this tiny little part of southern China, has a greater population than all 3 of those countries. So people are clearly just living on top of each other in many parts of the city. And it's just these communist-style apartment blocks as far as the eye can see. You see people leaving their clothes out to dry. They probably don't even have a dryer, it's too expensive. Most of these people probably wouldn't have a car. Public transport is pretty good here, so there are many bus services around the area. But again, these little public parks, you really see how people live. It's a Sunday today, so a few people are out and about having lunch, meeting up with friends, playing, I think it's mahjong, the Chinese board game, bakeries, cafes. Just really interesting to see how people actually live here. And I think Hong Kong is home to the 3rd or 4th most billionaires in the world. But you really see, when you come out to these suburbs, you really see the wealth divide. And there may be a lot of billionaires here, but there are a lot of lower income, middle class people here as well. And you know, where I'm walking now, this is what daily life is like for many, many people in Hong Kong and in China, more broadly speaking. Behind the main square where we were, you can see a little park, up, if you can even call it that, behind the McDonald's there. Like really, that's what kids have got to play with in this area. It feels kind of sad, to be honest. You've got another little public area here of some sort. Maybe the kids come here to play or something. Yeah, that's really what kids in these areas, that's really all they've got to play and have fun with. So it's a little bit depressing, to be honest, but that's how many people in this part of the world live. Another concrete park here in amongst the apartment complexes. This is a really common sight across all of China here. A little bit better than the previous playground that we just saw. All the exercise equipment, all the old ladies come out on the weekend to exercise here. The Chinese women love the aerobics, stretches. How come there's so many Tesla Didi driver in Hong Kong?
Because
Rich people?
actually in Hong Kong, for electric car, if you want to charge your car, because in Hong Kong the supercharge station is plenty. So most of the Hong Kong people prefer to buy Tesla because it's much more convenience for them to charge the car. For another brand, for example, most of the China brand, if you want to charge the car, you have to go to another charging station. So it's much more not so convenient for them.
Is it expensive, electric vehicles here?
Tesla is a little bit, but the China electric car is very cheap now.
Very affordable.
Yeah, it's affordable.
A lot of Tesla driver, do they do it because they need extra money to do this, or they just do it for fun, or is it a hobby, or?
Most of them need money. I think.
They need more money.
Yeah. It's not hobby.
Life is expensive here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Everything is expensive in Hong Kong.
Yeah, expensive apartments, houses. The reason I asked the Uber driver just before why so many Tesla drivers do Uber is because they're everywhere in Hong Kong. And all the Ubers and Didis we've had so far, which have been about 5 or 6 of them, have all been Teslas. So I asked him, why do Tesla drivers drive Uber? Because I'm thinking Tesla drivers are probably people well off. They've got a lot of money because Teslas are, fairly expensive cars, upwards of, I think, $100,000 US. And I said, is it for hobby? Is it for fun? Do they actually need the money? He said, no, they need the money because Hong Kong is a very expensive place to live. So I thought that was really fascinating that people who drive expensive cars here still need to do Uber to get a source of income because cost of living is really high here in Hong Kong. So I thought that was really interesting. I'm standing here where the old Kai Tak airport at Hong Kong used to be. For any aviation lovers, you will undoubtedly know Kai Tak Airport was one of the most famous and if not dangerous airports in the world. Planes would make a last-minute right-hand turn to land at Kai Tak using a massive checkerboard, red and white checkerboard on the mountains nearby and make a final right-hand turn onto final approach to land here at Kai Tak. The airport has since been out of service, I believe in the 90s, and now this whole area where the airport used to be and the runway has been redeveloped into of course, a shopping district. What else would you have in Hong Kong? There's shopping malls and plazas everywhere, but it's been redeveloped into a shopping area with a hotel behind me, the redevelopment of it is quite extraordinary. To think just, 25 years ago, there was a massive runway going down here, whichever direction, with these, Boeing 747s landing there. It's been redeveloped into this really beautiful modern area. And once again, this area is right next to these older apartment buildings. So the contrast of new and old here in Hong Kong is really quite surreal. And you really feel that in these new modern areas, because all you have to do is look left or right and you see these old apartment style complexes. There you go, there you go, the new Kai Tak Stadium behind me. What an amazing piece of architecture here. There's another stadium in the distance down there. They've got some kids walking with their Santa outfits on. Something else I've noticed about Hong Kong is many Chinese people love to take photos of all the Christmas ornaments and Christmas decorations. Even though, from my understanding, many of these people are not religious. China is generally not affiliated with any religion. Most are ethnically Han Chinese. But a bunch of little kids now walking around in their Santa Claus costumes. So Christmas seems to be very commercialized here in Hong Kong. So right here was the start of the runway, and planes used to come in from the distance near those mountains and make a right-hand turn and land straight onto here. And now, as you can see, what was a commercial airport runway, thousands of planes landing every day, every week, has now been turned into an entertainment area. I'm going to assume those red and white checker marks things represent the old red and white checker marker thing on the mountains there. The pilots used to see it, and when they saw that, they would know they had to make a right-hand turn. But people out and about enjoying the amenities. With a massive undertaking, a massive project by the Hong Kong government to turn a commercial airport into, a residential and mixed-use area. That used to be the runway, and all the way down the end, they've put up more apartments, people out enjoying themselves by the water. But yeah, that used to be the old runway at Kai Tak. I really enjoyed visiting Hong Kong. I really enjoyed the city. The people are really friendly, the food is great, the vibe is really good, the nightlife is really good. Out in Kowloon, which is on the north side of the island, the streets are pumping really late at night. However, the city does have some challenges, that's for sure. Some people living in extreme poverty here, in extreme conditions. Housing is a big problem in Hong Kong. It's incredibly expensive. There's 7.5 million people here, and it's a very tight area, very dense. So people are really living on top of each other in some really horrible conditions in some instances. There are still older people working at cafes, at restaurants, working on the ferries here. So people are still working late, into their 60s, 70s, and probably even 80s just to make ends meet, pay the bills, pay the rent. So there definitely is two sides to Hong Kong, that's for sure. There is the glamorous side behind me with all the fancy buildings, but there definitely is another side where people are living in a more extreme poverty. Life is tough for many people here. We saw those Tesla Uber drivers are still having to do Uber to make ends meet because cost of living is very high here. So even people with very expensive cars have still got to take on side hustles, take on extra jobs to pay the bills. Even going out to those suburbs earlier, seeing how people live in those conditions, just half an hour away from these flashy buildings here where all the millionaires and billionaires live. Seeing how people live is really, really interesting. And it's only 30 minutes away from the main areas in Hong Kong. So if you do get a chance to come visit, I encourage you, just take a bus, take a train, take a taxi, go 30 minutes away and really see how people live, how the locals live. And I'll guarantee you it's very different from all the glamour around the main city area. So thank you very much for watching. Next stop is Shenzhen, which is on the mainland China. So there is no special administrative region. Hong Kong is an autonomous zone, so it is slightly different than cities on the mainland, but Shenzhen fully under the control of the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. So it'll be really interesting to see how that city compares to Hong Kong, and I'm looking forward to exploring that and getting some more awesome footage for you guys. But for now, thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.